A ticking relic from the past, this watch might just outshine its modern counterparts in value. This remarkable piece has been cherished by the Guest family for generations, and he shares the same passion for preserving its legacy. At first glance, it's unmistakable. This is a Patek Philippe pocket watch, a masterpiece of horological craftsmanship with astounding features. The appraiser immediately recognizes its sophistication, particularly in its intricate movement and the array of finely tuned complications. One of the watch's standout features is its split-seconds chronograph, a rare function that allows timing of two events simultaneously with remarkable precision. Demonstrating his expertise, the appraiser carefully operates the chronograph, showing how the dual stopwatch hands function in perfect synchrony.
So that's unusual. So if we push the button down, we see the second hand is moving.
Right.
Now, let's say you're timing your horse, and you're getting to the halfway point. You push this other button. Now you have your split time.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Wow.
Upon opening the case, another extraordinary feature is revealed, a delicate hammer mechanism signaling that this is a minute repeater capable of chiming the time on demand. Adding to its historical significance, the case is engraved with a personal dedication to its original owner, enhancing its provenance and desirability. On the back, a prestigious monogram is meticulously enameled, likely representing the initials of the guest's ancestor. Attached to the pocket watch is a classic chain featuring a traditional fob and a pocket knife, symbols often associated with Freemasons, hinting at its original owner's affiliations.
Well, we know that there's a key hidden in there.
Yes, right.
And then what happened here? Because that was interesting.
This is really something I didn't discover until you or one of your associates opened it up. It's a pillbox.
And he still had his medicine in there.
With its blend of remarkable complications, rich provenance and pristine condition, this exceptional timepiece carries an estimated value of.
In the marketplace today, at least at auction, I see this watch for $40,000 to $60,000.
Wow.
And that's
a lot.
That's a lot. I may only pay 1 year of college today, but
they're all educated, fortunately, right now.
Worn, weathered, and wonderfully rare, this antique watch could fetch a staggering price. This remarkable piece was inherited by the guest from her stepfather, a brave serviceman who fought in the Second World War.
He was a POW in World War II at Sagan, Germany, in Stalag Luft III.
Okay.
And that's the one that this book was written, and that's the one that the movie was based on.
According to the guest, the legendary film The Great Escape was inspired by his stepfather's real-life experiences during the war. Opening the book the movie was based on, we find a miniature painting of the guest's stepfather, further cementing his connection to this historic event. A courageous member of the OSS, the Office of Strategic Services, a wartime intelligence company, he was captured as a prisoner of war in Germany.
And if they knew he was a spy, they would execute him.
Right.
So he posed as a pilot. When he was getting captured, he got rid of all his OSS stuff. He had been working behind enemy lines in North Africa, making manure bombs to delay the Nazis as they were coming.
Today we have on display his military wristwatch, an elegant Rolex military chronograph produced in the 1940s. This watch is a true wartime relic, featuring two buttons that control its chronograph functions, a design built for precision in the field. Its stainless steel case is typical of military-issued timepieces from the era, built to endure the harshest conditions of war. However, what sets this particular watch apart is its original black dial, an extremely rare feature for Rolex military watches of this period. The watch remains in impeccable condition, a rarity given its history, and would certainly capture the attention of collectors worldwide. With its extraordinary provenance, historical significance, and rarity, this piece would command a remarkable price at auction, with an estimated value of
at auction between $40,000 to $50,000.
Mercy. Thank you.
Pocket watches are elegant, intricate timepieces that evoke a sense of nostalgia and refinement. This particular pocket watch has been passed down through multiple generations in the family of the guest. Adding to the watch's rich history is a letter from the guest's grandfather, which provides further insight into the origins of this remarkable timepiece.
Other than that, I have very little history about it other than what's in the letter.
So the letter was written, you believe, somewhere in the 1940s?
Late 1940s.
And the signature at the bottom is your grandfather's
That would be my grandfather's signature.
This pocket watch is believed to have been crafted by an ancestor of the guest, who worked with the esteemed Danish watchmaker Jules Jørgensen. Founded by Jules Frederick Jørgensen, the company is renowned for producing exceptional timepieces with precise and reliable movements, often featuring intricate mechanisms and artistic decorations. This watch exemplifies that tradition, featuring a perpetual calendar, a highly sophisticated complication that automatically ensures the correct date is always displayed.
It knows how many days are in each month, and on the fourth year, one gear ends up knowing that it has 29 days in February.
Additionally, it possesses a minute repeater, a prestigious and complex mechanism that chimes the time on demand. Minute repeaters are among the most challenging complications in watchmaking, requiring expert craftsmanship in both mechanical engineering and acoustics. Further enhancing its appeal, this pocket watch also boasts a certified chronometer movement, demonstrating exceptional precision and reliability. On the reverse side of the watch, an exhibition cover reveals its intricate movement, allowing admirers to appreciate the fine mechanics at work. However, upon closer examination of the accompanying letter, some irregularities were discovered, casting doubt on whether this timepiece was truly made by Jules Jørgensen.
The letter says that the watch was 140 years old when the letter was written. The watch, though, was probably produced between 1880 to 1890.
Okay.
So if it was written in the 40s, then the watch was about 60 years old.
This uncertainty affects its provenance and consequently its estimated value in the auction market. In today's auction market, this extraordinary pocket watch is expected to fetch a price of
Would be in the $25,000 to $30,000 price range.
Wow.
A prestigious watch can be a true work of art, admired for its beauty, elegance, and craftsmanship. This exceptional wristwatch was gifted to the guest by his grandfather, making it a cherished family heirloom. Notably, this timepiece was manufactured by the iconic Rolex, a Swiss watch brand renowned for its innovation, precision, and timeless designs. Rolex was founded in 1905 by Hans Wilsdorf and Alfred Davis in London, and the company has a reputation as a leader in luxury watchmaking. This particular Rolex is an anti-magnetic chronograph, reference 6234, produced in 1954. At the time, this model was a groundbreaking innovation, designed to protect its movement from magnetic fields, which could interfere with timekeeping accuracy. In addition to its anti-magnetic properties, the watch features a chronograph complication, functioning as a stopwatch with two push buttons on the side. Remarkably, the watch has retained most of its components over the years, enhancing its authenticity and value. However, while the bracelet is not original, this does not significantly affect the overall worth of the timepiece. Interestingly, this watch has been appraised in the past by this guest.
We had it appraised about 2 years ago, and he said it was probably around $3,000, but I could put some work into it, maybe bump that value up to about $5,000 to $6,000.
In today's retail market, the estimated value of this Rolex wristwatch is
This piece, I think, estimate today for auction purposes is around $25,000 to $30,000. So it's a little higher than the value that you were given.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Charles.
small in size, grand in legacy. This antique pocket watch could be a silent treasure. This remarkable piece was inherited from the guest's great-grandfather, a captain in the Union Army during the Civil War. A noble serviceman who stood for law and order, he received this watch as a token of appreciation for his dedication.
And he became the chief of police in Galveston. Several years later, he was hired to go to Sour Lake, Texas to do some earthwork. So he took his crew with him. And when they went to Sour Lake, a group decided to tell him that his African-American workers were not welcome there and had to leave. And he ignored them until a mob showed up one day, and he stood down the mob with nothing but his shotgun full of bird shot and convinced them that he was not going to leave and his workers were going to stay there and do their job.
It's a true spectacle to behold, crafted from 14-karat gold and known as a box-hinge multicolor pocket watch.
Okay.
So at the top and at the bottom, it's boxed where the hinges go.
The multicolor effect comes from blending different shades of natural gold with alloys, creating a striking contrast in the case's intricate design. The standout feature: two beautifully detailed horse heads, a rare and artistic touch that elevates its uniqueness. At the center of the case, a set European-cut diamond adds a refined brilliance, making this piece not just a timekeeper but a work of art. Opening the watch reveals an inscription, an intimate presentation marking its historical significance and direct connection to the guest's ancestor.
To Ed Ketchum for your stand in defense of human rights at Sour Lake, July 9th, 1903.
The maker of this exquisite timepiece is none other than the American watch manufacturer Hampton Watch Company, a firm known for its fine craftsmanship. This particular watch was produced in 1888 and originally sold by the M.W. Shaw Company in Galveston, Texas, further deepening its historical roots. Remarkably, for a watch of its age, its condition is beyond ordinary, pristine and well-preserved, making it an exceptionally rare find. All these factors combined push its value far beyond what most might expect, bringing the estimate to
Would probably bring somewhere between $20,000 to $30,000.
Wow. I'm shocked.
Not all treasures sit in display cases. Some rest quietly in a collection box, ticking away from plain sight. This guest, an avid collector of antique pocket watches, unveils a truly jaw-dropping collection, each piece a testament to craftsmanship and history. The appraiser's eyes are immediately drawn to a pocket watch resting in its original box, its surface adorned with an intricate engraving. The delicate feather motif is unmistakable, the Prince of Wales feathers, the emblem of British royalty. Further examination reveals a presentation inscription, confirming that this watch was a personal gift from Albert Edward, Prince of Wales, to an American sea captain.
To an American sea captain when they landed on their tour to the United States in 1860. Edward went on to become King of England around the turn of the century.
Albert Edward was the King of the United Kingdom and the British Dominions and Emperor of India from 1901 until his death in 1910. Upon opening the watch's case, an unexpected marvel emerges. The watch revolves inside its housing, transforming from a closed timepiece to an open-face pocket watch. This ingenious mechanism is known as a convertible case, a rare and fascinating feature that enhances both its functionality and intrigue. A pocket watch purchased for $1,500 with such a direct connection to royalty would command an estimated value of.
When you add the inscription to it, perhaps you might even double that price.
Moving on, the next watch under the spotlight showcases an exquisite multicolor monogram. This timepiece stands out not only for its intricate artistry, but also for its extraordinary complications, one of the most complex styles found in a pocket watch. It is a repeater, a watch that chimes the time on demand, but what elevates it further is its perpetual calendar, accurately displaying the date for 4 years. Such an advanced and rare mechanism makes it a highly coveted piece among serious collectors, bringing its estimated value to
in excess of $15,000.
Well, that's great.
Finally, the last piece in the collection presents a striking contrast. Its design is deceptively simple, but its craftsmanship is anything but ordinary. At the top, a winding indicator offers a glimpse into its inner workings, but the true marvel lies at the back, where the case has been removed to reveal a mesmerizing skeletonized movement. Unlike conventional pocket watches, much of the metal plating has been stripped away, leaving behind a delicate web of golden wheels and jewel-set gold cups. The appraiser instantly recognizes it, an 18-size Elgin pocket watch, meticulously skeletonized to showcase its intricate mechanics. Purchased for $1,500, combined with its winding indicator, this piece would be worth an estimated value of.
Could again be worth twice that.
It's very surprised.
You're very surprised?
Yes, yeah.
I am too. I'm surprised to see watches as nice as this.
Yeah, very nice.
This tiny watch may have counted decades, but today it could count cash instead. The guest inherited this exquisite piece from an uncle with a deep passion for collecting fine timepieces.
Contractor in California. He traveled extensively, and he only had daughters, so he passed it on to us. We tried to get it cleaned a couple of times.
Determined to preserve its legacy, the guest had it carefully cleaned and restored in Switzerland, ensuring it remained in pristine condition. One glance at this wristwatch is enough to recognize its distinguished pedigree. It hails from none other than Patek Philippe, one of the most revered Swiss watchmakers. Founded in 1839 by Anthony Patek and Adrien Philippe, the company has built a reputation for crafting exclusive, fully handmade timepieces of the highest quality. This particular piece is a Calatrava Disco Volante yellow gold vintage men's watch, model 2251, first introduced in 1954. The serial number dates its production to around 1960, placing it firmly in the golden era of Swiss watchmaking. What sets this model apart is its automatic movement, featuring an oscillating wheel and a screw-down caseback, a rare and valuable combination.
Now, the screw-down back was a fairly innovative thing for Patek Philippe because it made the watch water-resistant. Most watches during the late 50s and early 60s, if it got wet, it was going to go through and you'd end up ruining the watch. So this particular one is water-resistant.
I didn't know that.
Turning the watch over, the appraiser reveals a breathtaking detail. The movement's rotor is fully guillocheed and made of 18-karat gold, a hallmark of fine craftsmanship. Inside, the movement bears the prestigious Geneva seal stamp, a mark of exceptional quality, and houses approximately 30 jewels to reduce friction and enhance precision. This rotor powers the watch with effortless motion, a feat of horological engineering designed to stand the test of time.
So what makes the watch work is that little rotor continues to spin, and that's what will power the watch. So if you're wearing it every day, the watch will continue to work day after day after day.
The appraiser also highlights the stepped-down case, a distinctive feature that adds to the watch's vintage charm, along with its elegantly sculpted lugs. The dial itself is another standout element, featuring a subsidiary seconds dial at 6 o'clock, a design choice that was significantly more expensive to produce in this model. With all these remarkable features combined, this Patek Philippe wristwatch is set to command an estimated auction value of.
It probably today in a retail setting has a value of $18,000 to $20,000.
Great, that's wonderful. It's a sentimental piece.
A little more than you were thinking?
Yes. Oh yes.
Here with us today, we have a French industrial steam boiler clock. This clock originally belonged to the guest's uncle, who handed it down to her father.
My uncle worked for a railroad, and I researched and I couldn't find what railroad he worked for, and was either the president or the vice president, from my understanding, from what my mother told me, and that this was given to him as a retirement gift.
This beautiful French clock is part of a series with similar designs and setups. It is automated, almost like a toy, featuring an engine at the top and a flywheel.
So at one time all this worked, everything moved and...
That's right.
The flywheel includes a governor that spins around, all activated when the clock is wound up with its inbuilt mechanism.
That runs this independently, and it runs it for several hours. But the clock will actually run for the entire week. It'll run for 8 days on a wind.
The clock has a great brass base and a marble base underneath it. These types of clocks are also known as whimsical clocks. Made circa 1885, this clock does require some restoration due to its age.
The dial is in pretty rough shape. Probably needs to have the numerals strengthened, and the barometer needs some repair as well.
Besides needing restoration, the clock is also missing the clockwork mechanism that provides the power for its automation. In its current condition, this whimsical French clock, with a brass and larger marble base and an automation mechanism, would be valued at.
A clock like this is probably valued at $3,000 to $4,000.
Wow.
Tom Weisselman, a key pop artist creating exciting, visually appealing works featuring everyday objects. Among his creations is a pencil and colored pencil drawing on paper, an early study for his future, Still Life 61. At the bottom, it reads for Esther, Tom Weisselman, 75, inscribed, signed, and dated. It was acquired by the family through the mother-in-law, who appreciated the art and befriended Weisselman. Kept in a bureau drawer for approximately 30 years, the drawing was recently retrieved and framed. Accompanying the drawing is a letter from Weisselman, written to congratulate Esther on his newborn son, Lane Hardy.
I would strongly encourage you to make a copy of the letter, but don't keep the letter itself behind the work.
Describing his excitement, the letter includes the drawing as a small gift from his new giant still life in progress. Given its origin, the inscription, and the accompanying letter, the drawing is valued at.
I think at auction right now, you're realistically looking at $25,000 to $35,000.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
An intriguing iron meteorite, believed to originate from Meta Crater in northern Arizona, has a fascinating history. This meteorite, part of the Canyon Diablo Fall, is from a 50,000-year-old crater that remains remarkably well preserved. also known as Barringer crater. The meteorite's appearance and mineral content match those of Meteor crater.
This is cut from a larger piece, and you might call some of the major museums that have pieces of the crater.
While curating a natural museum in Scarsdale, New York, the father-in-law and a friend acquired the meteorite. They displayed various collected items, including the meteorite, to neighborhood visitors. Despite needing authentication, its appearance and its mineral content suggest it was from the renowned Meteor crater. Further verification from a geologist or comparison with museum specimens could confirm its authenticity. If authenticated, the meteor could fetch an auction estimate between.
If this meteorite was to come up for auction, I would give it an auction estimate of $15,000 to $20,000.
Really? Whoa. Pretty good for a lump of iron, huh?
The guest thinks it's a tapestry, but the appraiser confirms it is an art protisse, or art for progressive tapestry. The guest got it from his grandmother, who loved Eastern European art and bought it from Germany. Art protisse is different from tapestry and falls into the category of non-woven. This technique was first used in 1964 at the Woolen Research Institute in Brno, Czechoslovakia. The appraiser explains it's an expensive technique and how it's used.
This is wool.
Okay.
You take a wool fleece, you lay it flat. You can then design flat where you want the wool to be, the colors.
It's then ironed and stitched onto a substrate. Its artist is Josef Nalepa, who's not very famous, except that he's made some bronzes and sculptures. This technique was popular in the 1960s and 70s. This piece is the result of a collaboration between a manufacturer and an artist. Its name is Fireball, and it's from the 1970s. Its auction price is.
I'd imagine it selling for between $4,000 and $6,000.
And the value of the piece at a retail shop is.
And in a retail shop, somewhere closer to $10,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
Pictured here is the guest's father, a World War II veteran and survivor of war.
1940, he lived in the centre of Birmingham. They were getting bombed on a regular basis, and he decided he'd take his chances in the forces instead.
Right. Tragically, he lost his entire family in the war after enlisting in the Navy, leading him to join HMS Tenacity and later HMS Kelvin.
But we come to June 1944, and Kelvin had joined the great flotilla that was part of the support for D-Day.
HMS Kelvin F-37 was a Royal Navy destroyer that played a significant role in World War II. She was launched in 1939 and served in various theatres, including the Mediterranean and Normandy. The ship earned several battle honours for her service. HMS Kelvin had the honour of transporting Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, across the English Channel to Normandy, France, just days after the D-Day landings. Churchill wanted to see the progress of the Allied invasion firsthand and to meet with military leaders in the field. While on this trip, Churchill came across the guest's father with his camera and, despite the informality, couldn't resist posing for a few photos.
What we've got here is basically his photograph album. Here is Churchill catching him with his camera. Instead of looking away, he's sort of standing there in a very Churchillian pose.
He took great pleasure in sharing the pictures he took of Winston Churchill, a memorable experience he loved to relive. Although he endured a traumatic experience during the war, the guest's father remained a kind, humorous and charming individual.
So I think what we've got here is a remarkable and very sort of informal record of a great event. You know, Churchill's visit to the beaches.
Her husband liked an antique. She secretly bought it later as a birthday surprise for him. This piece highlights the elegance and creativity of the Art Deco era. The lamp is intricately carved from smooth, translucent alabaster. Explore the charm of this unique bear trio.
It has three bears, one clearly the leader of the group, standing on top of the ice cave and the icicles falling down, and the two smaller bears.
The lamp lights up and makes a striking statement in a dark room. The lamp's warm glow contrasts beautifully with the cool alabaster, enhancing its visual appeal. This lamp combines functionality with striking Art Deco sophistication and artistic innovation. Its blend of elegance and artistry was evident as the appraiser valued the item.
In excess of $2,000.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Isn't that great?
That's fantastic.
While cleaning her grandmother's attic many years ago, the guest discovered this piece. It is a temperance banner from circa 1840 America. The banner bears inscriptions aimed at curbing alcohol consumption and promoting abstinence.
All of a sudden, people have to show up at work. All of a sudden, people are operating machinery, and liquor is cheap.
This piece is made from fine linen material with a cotton backing. Interestingly, the temperance movement was part of the broader reform efforts taking place in the country at the time.
So this whole reform movement that was coming in, we're talking about education, child labor, diet, and drinking.
The banner would have been hung by a traveling temperance advocate who gave speeches promoting temperance. Because this banner was extensively traveled with, condition issues are expected, but these do not affect its value. Given its historical significance in American history, in this condition, this banner would be worth.
I think a retail value of this is in the $5,000 to $6,000 range.
Well, thank you.
This item is an extraordinary 17th century hat which has been transformed into a personal notebook containing notes on Shakespeare's works. Our guest's 5 times great-grandfather, John Ludd of Caversham, an antiquarian and traveller, is suspected to be the original owner, contributing to its historical significance. This hat contains handwritten notes from the same century as Shakespeare.
There's a little quote here from Twelfth Night where he says, where is it? "The melancholy god protect thee and make thy doublet of changeable taffeta."
The binding is made from an old piece of music, and the notebook includes curious seals and scholarly notes in Latin, possibly lecture notes from a student. The notebook is considered rare and a significant piece of scholarship reflecting the early reception, and
It's absolutely extraordinary. My hands are trembling now just looking at it.
its small size and intricate craftsmanship suggests it was likely carried as a personal item, perhaps for study or bedtime reading. The historical and scholarly value of this notebook is immense, with its auction value estimated to exceed.
At auction, you can see this making easily upwards of £30,000.
Really? For such a small item?
The best things come in small packages.
Treasure can be found on the roads too. The guest's grandmother found this ruby bird brooch in a pocketbook. The guest's grandparents called the police, but no one claims it.
And several months went by and they released it back to her and it was hers to keep. No one ever came forward to claim it? Nothing. Wow. Nothing.
It's an American platinum yellow gold diamond and ruby brooch made in the 1930s. The guest needed something on her band in her wedding dress, and her grandmother gifted her this beautiful pin. All the diamonds are 5 carats, single cut, and uniformly matched. The 18-carat yellow gold nest looks natural, with nicely crafted overlapped branches. The eggs are made of single-cut diamonds, and 1 single-cut diamond is on the tip. Although it's not marked, the detailed craftsmanship of the bird suggests it was made by a skilled artist. It's a wonderful family piece to have. At auction, it could be sold for
Somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000. Okay.
the retail value would be.
I'd say about double, maybe 10 to 15,000. Okay. Awesome. Well, my grandmother is going to be so excited. I begged her to come, but she wouldn't come with all us crazy people, she said.
Our guest's drawing was discovered by chance when their mother-in-law found it in an old frame among a pile of items destined for the trash. Initially displayed in the mother-in-law's office and later stored in the attic, the drawing remained unrecognized until the guest replaced the frame and noticed the signature Benton. The drawing is by Thomas Hart Benton, a prominent American regionalist painter known for his murals and...
So is it still that original frame that it was in?
It's the same frame
Okay.
and the same mat, and I just protected it with UV glass.
This particular drawing is a study for the mural that once hung at the Indiana University, depicting themes of an early 20th century, including controversial subjects like the Ku Klux Klan. Benton's mural was part of the Indiana Pavilion at the Chicago World's Fair in 1993, showcasing.
Represented the Indiana Pavilion at the fair, and he spent a lot of research, a lot of time in Indiana.
The drawing represents panel number 10 of the mural, which portrayed racial issues in Indiana during the 1920s and was later reinstalled at the university despite controversy. In today's market, a finished Benton drawing like this could be valued at
Perhaps $12,000 to $18,000 range. You really found a treasure under that Monet print in that frame, and I really appreciate you bringing it to us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Exhibited on the show today is a collection of plates purchased in England by the guest's husband in 1944. Also displayed is the receipt of the purchase, which authenticates when, where, and for what price the set was bought. There are 6 plates in this collection. 3 are hand-painted with images of dogs, 2 feature images of stags, and the last one is painted with a pictorial scene. On the back of these plates, we can see the Thomas Good & Co mark stamped.
They entered the marketplace, were owned by some family, and then Thomas Good bought them back and resold them again.
These plates feature paintings by Sir Edwin Landseer. Landseer was an English painter and sculptor well known for his paintings of animals, particularly dogs and stags. One of the plates was broken, but was repaired by the Thomas Good Company.
So when we went to England on our 50th wedding anniversary, I took it back to Thomas Good and Company, and they repaired it.
Despite the repaired plate, this collection of hand-painted plates by Thomas Good would each be worth
between $5,000 and $7,500.
That's wonderful to hear.
Unveiled today is this stunning Italian bust, purchased from a local antique store.
First of all, she is Italian, and in Italy we would call this type of pottery maiolica, which is really similar to faience. So faience is not an incorrect term.
The guest purchased this beautiful piece in the Kansas City area 5 to 7 years ago. The hand-painted piece, modelled after Renaissance portraiture, exudes timeless beauty. Its intricate hairstyle and detailed garment decoration highlight the artist's craftsmanship. Although there's a minor chip on the back, the bust's value lies in its artistic and decorative appeal. Additionally, the bust can be dated back to the late 19th century or early 20th century, making it around 100 years old. Although there is a maker tag on it, further research will be needed to uncover the maker.
Very little, if any. We also notice that there is a big hand-painted mark on the underside, and I wonder who that is, and I have to tell you, I don't know.
However, its impressive presence and design place its retail value between.
Retail value will be between $1,500 and $2,000 because she's so impressive and great looking.
Well, she's my closet sister, so I never had a sister, and she's my princess.
Owner's dad bought these intricate pieces from Italy in the late 1960s. They were made by a renowned designer named Gio Ponti in the early 1920s. Ponti, initially an architect, created these as his first job. He considered himself a failed architect during that period. These are his original drafts crafted during that time. Ponti collaborated with the Richard Ginori ceramic manufacturer on these designs. They bear a mark indicating their Italian origin. The pieces boast a modern, industrial aesthetic. Even in black and white, they exude graphic strength. They feature a blend of transfer printing and hand-painted details. Ponti's designs extended across various media, plates, vases, and tiles. Larger tiles, such as these, are exceptionally rare and desirable, and their value is
easily $5,000 a piece.
Oh, no, really?
Easy.
Wow.
The guest received a silver service from her friend, who received it as a wedding gift from her father.
Shells represent the seashore where they had met and spent a lot of time.
The guest and her family enjoy using it on special occasions. It's French and made in Paris, and it was made in 1879, as shown by the marks. It has everything someone can think of in a silver service.
Table setting with dinner forks, lunch forks, salad forks, dinner knives, soup spoons, teaspoons, demi-tasse spoons.
It also has a nice spoon and berry spoon for serving berries. Little silver salt with a gilt wash inside with a glass liner and matching spoon and shell patterns is exquisite. It has over 200 pieces. It could easily bring.
It could easily bring $10,000 to $12,000 at auction.
10 to 12,000? Wow. I was thinking maybe a couple of hundred.
Present value of this silver service is a stunning $25,000 to $30,000. A rare portfolio of early European Grand Prix race car prints spanning from 1895 to 1907 was given as a gift by a friend. Each crafted by the renowned artist Ernest Montou, the collection boasts 30 vibrant color plates.
All of the images are very beautifully done. Now we've counted in here. How many color plates did we count in here? 30.
Ernest Montou illustrated early automobiles and airplanes, popularizing these technologies in the early 20th century. Celebrated for his depictions of early aviation and automobiles, Montou's work captures the excitement of the era. Montour's work is celebrated for romanticizing these pioneering technologies. The images in this portfolio are particularly well executed and visually striking. With only one known record of this book's existence, its rarity significantly enhances its value, with the potential to reach the higher end of this range. At auction, it is estimated to sell for between.
At auction, I would estimate its value at $8,000 to $12,000.
An original printing block from the 1976 promotional campaign for the film Star Wars was purchased at an online auction.
You came in this morning and I saw you walking up to the table and with a hunk of wood in your hand. And then you flipped it over and I realized you brought in an original printing block.
With its role in crafting advertisements for Star Wars before the 1977 release, the block is an important collectible. It features the original movie logo, a rare find in itself. Adding to its uniqueness are the references to Dolby Digital sound, embracing cutting-edge technology early. This was exemplified by the 6-track stereo. A devoted collector of memorabilia, the guest was captivated by the block's historical significance. Its connection to the film's early marketing efforts made it an irresistible find. Acquired for approximately $20, the printing block is now estimated to be worth between
I'm going to say $300 to $400 range, and that's being extremely conservative at auction.
A Navajo weaving from the early 1880s was handed down to the guest from a great-grandmother in California. This piece was woven with Germantown yarns, which were commercially spun and dyed. These yarns became available to the Navajo with the advent of railroads. Created specifically for the tourist market, it still maintains high craftsmanship.
Now, these were made for the commercial market. They were woven specifically to sell to tourists, but it says nothing about the quality. They were still absolutely beautiful like they're traditionally made weavings.
With a bright red background, the weaving features a striking pattern, although it does have a minor rip and it's missing part of the white border at the bottom. Despite some recent declines in the market for such items, the weaving's quality holds significant value. With the restoration of the border and the repair of the rip, its value could increase to between
Probably get about $8,000 to $12,000 for it. Wow. Well worth doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Episode features a collection of memorabilia from the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Being a fan of the novel and the movie, the guest was delighted to stumble upon the autographed program. A true classic, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a novel by Ken Kesey, published in 1962. The book was adapted into a successful film in 1975, directed by Milos Forman and starring Jack Nicholson as McMurphy and Louise Fletcher as Nurse Ratched. Moved by the guest's genuine admiration for the film, the seller presented him with the main character, Jack Nicholson's original hat. This letter serves as definitive proof of the hat's authenticity and provenance. Without the letter, the guest's claim to the original hat would have been impossible to verify, making the letter crucial to the collection's value. This exceptional collection is expected to fetch a substantial sum at auction, estimated to be
I would estimate it for no less than $4,000 to $6,000.
I didn't expect that.
An item which the guests believed to be an ancient piece was brought to the show. This is a carved turtle shell. Contrary to the guests' belief, this piece was made around 15 years ago. In England, a factory produces these turtle shells. This shell features hand-carved wood with a white finish. The workmanship is exquisite, with meticulous carving and a full luster. With a generous appearance and a unique shape, this item remains in good condition. Turtle shells like these are typically carved and sold openly as reproductions, and they are worth in the region of
This is worth in the region of $150.
Okay, so I have a matching pair.
You could have a matching pair, a set of 3, 4, as many as you want.
Our guest inherited this Martin Brothers grotesque from his father, who was an avid antique collector. This piece was his father's favorite and became part of the inheritance passed down to him. The appraiser explained that the Martin Brothers were pioneers in modern decorative ceramics in England. This piece is a salt-glazed stoneware, crafted in a modern sculptural style by
Robert Wallace Martin had studied as a sculptor, and he was the main designer for the Martin Brothers firm, who operated in and around London from around 1873 till about 1915.
Known as Wally birds, these pieces are actually tobacco jars designed to keep tobacco moist with a sponge. Our guest's piece is particularly rare because it features 2 birds, indicating it was made between 1990 and 1910. The appraiser praised its excellent condition and vibrant colors, which include blues and pinks. Initially appraised at $7,000 15 years ago, the piece is now valued at a price of.
At auction, a bird like this would sell for somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000.
Wow, you're kidding.
Eagle Scout, he bought his first signed Norman Rockwell print at a gallery south of Kansas City. The artwork shows Rockwell seated at a drawing table, immersed in his craft. He's depicted with a pipe, a common feature in his portraits. The drawing highlights Rockwell's focused expression and tools, showcasing his dedication. Discover the fascinating story behind this Rockwell piece.
It's a very exciting piece, and although Rockwell did do other images of himself, the story behind this is just terrific. And I think the book is called A Rockwell Portrait and Intimate Biography.
Published in 1978, this piece reflects Rockwell's renowned portrayal of American life. He's known for Saturday Evening Post covers and other magazine covers, as well as portrait commissions. The signature in the bottom right corner authenticates it as a genuine Rockwell piece. Its unique glimpse into the artist's own reflection led the appraiser to value it highly.
We would expect it to sell at $35,000.
Wow. It's not for sale.
Her neighbor gave this tea table to her. This antique showcases the elegant Queen Anne style from the 18th century. The table is made of durable fine-grained maple, known for its smooth finish and warm color. The tea table has a round top with a subtle, elegant overhang. The tapered, rounded legs reflect classic Queen Anne curves. Beneath this finish are once mahogany past remains.
Originally, it probably would have had a reddish wash to make it look like mahogany, a more expensive wood, and that often gets taken away by refinishers. So this has been refinished.
The table's simple, refined craftsmanship offers timeless beauty and historical significance. The appraiser valued the item for its timeless elegance and historical charm.
This is worth about $2,500.
Oh, how nice.
Our guest brought in a Lionel train set she received for Christmas in 1957. She shared that it was a gift for her and her younger two sisters, while
my older sister got dancing shoes and a dancing suitcase.
It's pretty remarkable condition.
The train set was played with only during that Christmas, then stored away due to lack of family or toy room. Rediscovered in her parents' attic after their passing, the train set remained in its original box since that time. The appraiser explained that Lionel made this pastel-colored train to appeal to little girls during the mid-1950s. This marketing strategy was unsuccessful, making these sets quite rare today. Remarkably, the guest still had all the original boxes and instruction sheet. The appraiser estimated the train set auction value to be at
between $7,000 and $9,000.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Our guest found this charming cradle while antiquing in Nevada City with her daughter. She was drawn to the cradle because of its beautiful tin lithography and
love the tin lithography, and also that it has a little dog on it. I'm a dog lover.
The cradle, an advertising piece for Kleinert's waterproof baby pants, dates back to the late 19th to early 20th century. This point of purchase display piece would have been placed near a cash register to entice buyers. Our guest purchased the cradle for $32 a little over a year ago. Kleinert's, founded in 1896 by Isaac Kleinert, was known for inventing various
who invented all sorts of things from the shower curtains to shower caps, waterproof pants, to all sorts of rubberized materials.
The appraiser expressed his delight in seeing this rare piece, having never encountered one like it in his 40 years in the business. The appraiser valued the cradle conservatively at a jaw-dropping price of,
for auction purposes, would be around $2,000 to $3,000.
Oh my goodness.
And
oh my goodness.
and frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if it could go for more.
This guest had the fortune of meeting Andy Warhol in the 1980s. Warhol, an American visual artist, film director, and producer, is considered one of the most important American artists of the second half of the 20th century. Warhol signed the guests' soup cans and also sold them the print displayed here.
I went down to his studio I took my mom and my sister, and we all went down there, and it was really great. I mean, this guy was so friendly that there was no coming out of his mouth. He loved people.
We can expect this colorful print alone to fetch a considerable value at auction.
$15,000 to $20,000.
No!
So,
behind the print, there are some interview magazines, also signed by Warhol.
I got him to sign, Robin Williams, and look, meow, with the cat. And I love Molly Ringwald. They called her Molly Ringworm.
these signed magazines would each command a significant price.
I would estimate those at $1,000 to $1,500.
Shut up.
At the bottom of the print, we can see it is rubber stamped, signed, and dedicated to the guest by Warhol. Furthermore, the soup cans on display are each signed twice by Warhol. At auction, given that these cans were personally signed by Warhol, they would each be worth.
I would estimate the individual cans at $1,500 to $2,000 a piece.
Nice.
Yeah, so you got 6 of them there.
This
Not
expensive
bad.
can of soup, very nice.
Absolutely.
Good.
This guest's mother gifted her the showcased item when she was a little girl, and she has cherished it ever since. The item is a traditional necklace that was worn by a tribal chief during ceremonies. Originally from Fiji, the necklace is called the Wasakashaka necklace. It was made from the tooth of a sperm whale in the mid-19th century.
It was so rare, the teeth were the prerogative of the chief, and he would decide what to do with them, and he would sometimes gift them to other chiefs and things like this.
To create this piece, a single whale's tooth was split into narrower sections. Additionally, the pieces are interspersed with red beads, which were added much later. The color of the necklace is a golden honey brown, and it remains in good condition. Traditional necklaces like this are highly collectible, and in this condition, this piece is estimated to be worth
Probably about $15,000.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
Today on the show, we have a collection of puppets created by our guest in the 1950s. The guest performed with these puppets at numerous shows across many states, including Miami and New York. These puppets were designed to resemble famous television personalities from the 1950s, such as Jackie Gleason, Ed Sullivan, and Jerry Lewis, among others. Jackie Gleason was an American actor, comedian, writer, and composer, renowned as the Great One. Ed Sullivan was an American television host, impresario, and sports and entertainment reporter. Jerry Lewis was an American comedian, actor, singer, humanitarian, and entertainer. The puppets are made from plastic and wood, and all of their accessories remain intact. Given the provenance of these puppets and their excellent physical condition, they are estimated to be worth
Conservatively, $10,000 to $15,000.
All of them.
All of them.
I've been offered for just Liberace, I've been offered $5,000.
This captivating piece has a trifecta of functionality, as it's a cane that doubles as a telescope.
These kinds of walking sticks or canes are affectionately referred to as gadget canes, because it's a gadget. I mean, it's a compendium of devices. It's not just one device.
And a pistol. Dating back to 1826, this cane is a genuine artifact with a history as intriguing as its design. It was acquired in England in 1943 by the guest's father during World War II from a local family. The cane features a single-shot flintlock gun, a spyglass, and a hidden storage compartment.
The center section comes apart, and we have a nice two-draw spyglass.
It was crafted from baleen and marked by its inventor.
What's interesting about this, too, is the wrap on the outside is a material called baleen.
Although it has some minor condition issues, like insect damage and leather wear, it remains highly valuable. Collectors covet gadget canes like this one for their multifunctional design and historical significance. The maker's mark on the barrel adds a unique element of authenticity and provenance. Given the strong market interest, this cane, with its trifecta of functionality, should fetch.
At auction, we're probably talking, $3,000 to $5,000.
Great.
Today, we have an incredible collection filled with history from the early years of a boxing legend, then still called Cassius Clay. This remarkable collection includes a 1962 fight ticket and a signed napkin. There's also an iconic photograph of Ali, captured when he and the guest had a memorable evening of wining and dining.
Was this a chance meeting? I had been invited to go to the fight. And afterwards, I said, let's go out to dinner. And then we were at dinner, and I stole the napkin.
Among the signatures on the napkin are Cassius Clay and his brother, Rudy, and heavyweight champion Archie Moore. These items highlight a pivotal period in Ali's life, from his early career to his rise as a boxing legend.
That's right. Cassius was always telling people who he was, what he'd done, and he was going to be famous. He was going to be number one.
Ali's transition from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali in 1964 marked a profound change in his persona and career.
It did.
He managed to get a shot at the heavyweight title. He upset Sonny Liston.
Yes.
And then he becomes Muhammad Ali, changes and converts to Islam.
I know.
The rarity of Cassius Clay's signatures, limited to 1960 to 1964, significantly enhances this collection's value. In addition, the photo and fight ticket enhances this collection's provenance and exceptionality. Given the historical importance and rarity, the auction estimate for this collection is between.
I would put an auction estimate for $3,000 to $5,000.
You know, that's amazing. I never thought of a value. I just wanted people to know that I was there with him.
This rare temperance banner, discovered in a grandmother's attic, is quite captivating. It was discovered in a plastic bag by the guest's grandmother, and then passed down to the guest, who folded it in and meticulously cared for it.
It would have probably been hung by a traveling temperance person giving temperance speeches.
The banner can be dated by examining its fine linen material and the style of its lettering. It features a metaphorical railroad, warning against the dangers of alcohol consumption. This banner is part of a broader 19th century reform movement addressing social issues.
Now, what's interesting about the temperance movement at that particular time is it's part of the overall reform movement that's going on in this country.
Traveling temperance speakers likely used it, contributing to its intriguing history leading up to Prohibition. Despite some wear from its journeys, the banner is still in extraordinary condition. The historical significance and excellent condition of this temperance banner give it a retail value of.
I think a retail value of this is in the $5,000 to $6,000 range.
His great-grandfather's West Point silhouette stands beside a cane, made after his Battle of the Wilderness Wound, a silhouette of General Getty, October 19, 1864, and a Civil War presentation cane, a cane with intriguing historical inscriptions and symbols.
We have this little badge here, that's the 6th Army Corps badge.
Ah, okay.
George Washington Getty graduated from West Point in 1840, hailing from Georgetown, D.C. The silhouette highlights General Getty's military bearing and uniform. These canes were intricately carved with detailed engravings, precious medals, or achievement inscriptions. Presentation canes were gifts honoring military leaders and notable figures. The historical significance and craftsmanship were evident as the appraiser valued the item.
I would put it in the $2,000 to $3,000 range.
Really? Wow.
The guest brought some Hollywood photos that belonged to his stepfather, Morrow. This photo, featuring the guest's stepfather, was taken in the early 1950s at Arthur Murray. Arthur Murray is a famous dance studio chain associated with American ballroom dancer Arthur Murray, and the most prestigious dancers get to perform there. As Morrow was an excellent dancer, he was even invited to be an instructor at Arthur Murray. By 1942, Morrow, a former Navy officer, was in Hollywood, where he collected autographs from numerous movie stars. Among the collection, the appraiser highlighted signed photos of Judy Garland, Veronica Lake, and Carmen Miranda, noting that the total collection included 18 signatures. Morrow likely met these stars at the Hollywood Canteen, a club for servicemen, established in October 1942, which operated until Thanksgiving Day 1945. Given Morrow's dancing skills, it was likely he danced with some of these stars. These vintage photos from the 1940s were more valuable, as signatures from early in the celebrities' careers held more value. The appraiser valued these photos at.
From this era, because she's quite young here, is worth anywhere between $600 to $800. Veronica Lake, $300 to $500. That's a great Carmen Miranda shot, exactly how you want to see her with the whole fruit headdress, $300 to $500.
The total collection was estimated to be between.
Total at auction between $4,000 to $6,000.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good to know.
The guest's father was a prisoner of war, and this is the collection that the guests brought. Her father had also received a caterpillar pin for successfully parachuting out of the plane and walking away. Caterpillar pins were a rare honor given by the Caterpillar Club, an informal association of people who have successfully used a parachute to bail out of a disabled aircraft. Additionally, the guest had her father's original wallet card and a couple of cards he sent from the prison camp, one of which reassured his wife of his safety. Among the collection was a booklet printed in Europe after the war for prisoners, detailing camp activities and listing the prisoners. The collection also included a telegram from the Secretary of War expressing pleasure at her father's return to military control on May 2, 1945. The appraiser estimated the collection's auction value to be around.
At auction, it might bring around $1,500.
Oh, wow.
So it's very excited that you brought it in.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are presented with the challenge of differentiating the quality of these postcards, the email and Facebook of the early 1900s.
You know the game by now. Paul Atterbury has set us a little challenge. Here are 3 postcards. One
A basic postcard worth.
Originating from Germany in 1865, millions of people sent postcards all around the world. Each postcard tells a story, and these three are each unique in their own way. The most basic postcard in this collection features a picture of some ladies on a train, issued by a railway company from the early 1900s. Existing in large quantities, these are not exactly rare, and their value are estimated to be.
A basic postcard worth a couple of quid.
The next postcard in quality bears an Art Deco printing made using the pourchoir technique and signed by the Italian artist Giuseppe Maraschini. Although part of a series and handcrafted, it was also produced in relatively large quantities and is valued at
Value £50.
The best postcard in this collection features an image of a monumental historical event, the first and only time motor racing was held on Weymouth Beach in 1913. This postcard likely represents the only surviving photograph of its kind. Its uniqueness and historical significance greatly enhance its value, estimated at.
And then one is worth £100, which is a fantastic price for a postcard.
Our guest's dessert service was acquired by their mother-in-law, a devoted antique collector, who received it from antique dealers familiar with her during the post-war period when soldiers brought back treasures from abroad. The service, believed to have originated from England, was initially thought to be silver, but is actually silver plate made by.
And it's made by Walker and Hall of Sheffield. And this mark helps us to date it to around 1900, somewhere around there.
The set includes a variety of dessert items, a fruit bowl, 2 sets of nutcrackers, chased grape scissors, 12 knives and forks with mother-of-pearl handles, and beautifully engraved dessert spoons. The canteen is elaborately designed with a crown-shaped detail on the first piece, which, combined with a letter, suggested it was a gift from Queen Victoria, which adds a layer of intrigue. The letter claims the service was gifted by Queen Victoria, but further research is needed to confirm this royal connection.
Victoria died in 1901, and this is dated 1954.
The canteen itself is crafted from mahogany, inlaid with ebony and satinwood, featuring a vacant brass cartouche in the centre. Without the royal provenance, the service would be valued at.
I would estimate it at auction for around $1,500 to $2,000. However, with the association, it could do, 5 or 10 times that much.
These Frank Lloyd Wright blueprints belong to the guest's wife, who got them from her great-aunt. Frank Lloyd Wright's blueprints are rare to find, and these are from his early career in 1902. Although he had designed and built several houses by then,
most of the projects that he had done had been in Wisconsin and in Illinois.
It's a simple house design, but it shows details in a great way. He started building schoolhouses at the start of his career and promoted natural architecture with art and crafts. These give an idea of the whole collection that the guest has. At auction, these could easily fetch.
Probably somewhere between $1,500 and $3,000.
Surprised? I had no idea.
Kathy's chair belonged to her distinguished ancestor, General William Floyd, a signer of the Declaration of Independence, and her husband's great-great-great-grandfather. The appraiser identified the chair as an 18th century Garden Windsor, likely made in New York in the 1790s. Windsor chairs were fashionable in England for gardens, featuring a wooden seat with spindles.
Turn legs below, in your garden.
This chair, made by William McBride, features a continuous bow back, a unique bulbous turning shape, and a distinct vase-like design. The appraiser noted the chair's excellent condition, emphasizing that the original feet are intact, unlike many that have deteriorated outdoors. The appraiser estimated the chair's value at
$10,000.
$10,000, okay. Are you surprised?
I am, and very pleased.
Well, you're not going to put it out in your garden, though.
Oh, no, we're going to keep it.
You don't put it in the garden.
No,
you only did that in the 18th century.
And this is staying in the family.
The chair will remain a cherished piece, reflecting its historical and monetary value. A remarkable painting stands tall, commanding our attention. The guest received this artwork as an inheritance from his grandparents.
They were from Kennebunk, and they came down in the 1840s, and they got into railroad interests, and then they decided they liked it down here, and they bought a plantation.
This painting is authenticated by the signature Frederick Remington, 1890, and referenced as number 9.
So the family history then is that it's been through your family.
Yes.
Since it was arguably acquired in 1900.
That's correct.
Turn of the century.
That's correct.
Frederick Remington was an American painter, sculptor, and writer who was famous for his vivid depictions of the American West. He's best known for his paintings and sculptures of cowboys, Native Americans, and horses, which captured the spirit of the Wild West.
Family history with the piece, as well as the quality, the rhythm, the palette. I'm quite confident that the piece is a genuine Frederick Remington.
An exquisite original watercolor, this piece highlights Remington's skillful hand and attention to detail.
But one of the reasons that Remington's work is so popular now, was popular in 1900, is because of the freshness and the exactness of his hand.
Toning and creasing are present on the paper, influencing its condition and presentation. Further research is required to confirm its inclusion in the catalogue Rasson, which would impact its auction value of.
I would value it at auction at between $80,000 and $120,000.
I see.
On display today is a charming toy church. This toy has been a family treasure for generations, with his father also enjoying it as a child. The guest's father enjoyed this toy in the 1920s, but it's been created decades earlier, in the 1890s.
So it came down to him. And whoever it came from, they kept it in really very good condition.
This toy was created by the Bliss Manufacturing Company, a specialist in wood toys with lithographed paper designs. The Bliss Manufacturing Company was a toy company that operated in the United States during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Bliss Manufacturing Company was considered one of the leading toy manufacturers of its time, and its products are still highly sought after by collectors today. Only 2 churches were made, and this is the more complex and decorative of the 2.
And what's wonderful about it is that it's all here. Even every single little spire is here. These are often missing.
Also included are Sunday toys, each illustrating a biblical story. Interestingly, this toy can be taken apart and stored in its own box, which doubles as the church's main structure. With all of its pieces present, this example is particularly noteworthy and would achieve a strong sale price at auction.
In today's market at auction, I would expect this toy to easily bring $2,000 to $3,000.
Are you kidding me?
So you got a real treasure here.
Oh, wow.
Maps of the Matanuska Colony project revealed a New Deal-era effort to revitalize the economy during the Great Depression. These 1929 manuscript maps detail land parcels assigned to families in Anchorage and the Matanuska Valley, aimed at developing the region. The project settled about 200 Midwestern families, including those from Minnesota and Wisconsin. Once owned by Senator Jay Catula, the maps were given to the family by his daughter after his passing.
We still farm it as a family.
How did you acquire the maps?
The maps originally belonged to Senator Jay Catula, and he was also a colony kid.
Showing the colony's experimental approach to developing indigenous land, the maps grade the farmland as good or fair, leading to significant challenges. The Dana Ina people's traditional land use was not recognized under the new system. Despite early struggles and many families leaving, World War II's military buildup created the market that allowed for the farms to prosper. Unique as manuscript engineering plans, the maps are valued at.
I could see selling the maps for $5,000.
Wow.
Thank you
that's
so
really
much for bringing
interesting.
them in.
Yeah, thank you. It's really good to learn a little bit more about them.
A beautiful early 20th century Duffner and Kimberly art glass lead shade showcases exceptional craftsmanship. Influenced by Tiffany, the New York-based firm is known for intricate floral designs and turned-in edges. Showcasing meticulously crafted flowers, the shade features an exquisite floral arrangement. Salvaged by the contractor's father after World War II, the shade was saved from being discarded during a home remodel. It hung in his shed for 20 to 15 years before the guest discovered it and took it to dealers.
Took it to San Francisco to dealers to try and find out what it was worth. And everybody said, well, what do you want for it? So I figured it had value.
After its worth was realized, it was stored until 1972, when it was hung over the dining room table in a new Lake Tahoe home. Unique for its supports, which are uncommon in leaded shades, this Duffner and Kimberly piece is classic. This stunning Duffner and Kimberly shade is estimated to be worth around.
I would easily put an estimate of $8,000 to $12,000 on it for auction.
Really? Fantastic.
An exquisite early 18th century walnut veneered chest on chest dating from the 1720s represents the George I style of furniture.
The ironic thing is that this type of piece and inspired a whole group of American pieces that were made in Boston and other areas.
Featuring matched walnut features, intricate light wood stringing, and herringbone inlay, this piece exemplifies the era's craftsmanship. Additionally, it boasts a stunning inlaid compass fan, adding to its remarkable design. Purchased by the guest's husband's great-uncle in the late 1800s, the chest has remained in the family ever since. There were some speculations that part of the chest might have been added or replaced. However, careful examination confirms that the entire piece has always been together, affirming its integrity. The dovetails, wood, and even the same worm damage on the backs of the drawers match across both sections. This remarkable chest, a prototype that influenced American furniture, is valued at approximately
in America, probably at around $15,000 to $18,000, maybe retail $18,000.